You just turned on the mic too, didn't you?
All right, here we go. Good afternoon. We'll call the meeting of the Minot City Council to order for today, Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. It is 5:30 in the afternoon. I would just ask all of the folks in attendance and here at the dais to go ahead and put your electronic devices on mute or silent. Keep the distractions down to a minimum. Roll call, please.
Evans? Here. Janser?
Here.
Olson? Here. Pittner?
Here.
Padragula?
Here.
Ross?
Here.
Sitma?
Here. Number 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Number 3 on our agenda this afternoon is a public hearing, the Tax Increment Financing District 2022-1. This is the Big M building. Recommendations to the City Council for the tax increment financing is 1, conduct public hearing on 1, the proposed TIF District 2022-1 development or renewal plan, and 2, the proposed 2021-1 development agreement. 2 is approve the TIF District 2022-1 and authorize the mayor to execute the related resolution. 3, approve the development agreement and the minimum assessment agreement, and 4, authorize the mayor and necessary city staff to execute the development agreement, minimum assessment agreement, and any related documents. Again, this is a public hearing for anyone to come forward to speak either in favor, in opposition, or neutral to it. And I believe that Mr. Brian Billingsley, our Community Development Director, is here for some comments within our public hearing.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, members of the council. This is the follow-up from our meeting we had in May. Since that time, Ward County has voted to participate in the TIF district for a period of 8 years. So the last meeting, I presented this table to you that had all the increments for the city, the school district, and the park district. On the far right-hand side, you'll see the increment for Ward County now for the 8-year period. The TIF, last month was a $2.25 million TIF. This TIF is a $2.55 million TIF. It is a 20-year TIF where the city, the school district, and the park district will receive 90% of the increment over a 20-year period, and then Ward County participates for 8 years at 100% of the increment. We did notice this hearing for public comment. We posted a notice in the newspaper. We sent notices to Ward County, the Minot Park District, and Minot Public Schools for this hearing. We also notified 31 competitors for this hearing as well. In addition to what I presented at the last meeting, there also is a development agreement that will be adopted this evening and a minimum assessment agreement that will be adopted. The minimum assessment will cover the period of the TIF. So that way, if the building does not come out at the value of $14.7 million, which is what it's projected to, there will at least be enough revenue coming in to pay off that TIF within 20 years. So with that, I stand available for your questions, and I want to thank City Attorney Kelly Hendershot and City Finance Director Dave Lakefield and City Manager Harold Stewart and our Assessor's Office for helping me get through this process today. I stand available for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Billingsley. Any questions for Brian at this time on any of the documentations or on the presentation regarding the TIF? Mr. City Manager.
I just wanted to mention, so when we put the agenda out Friday afternoon, we did have some updates, but those documents have been uploaded and are available to the public through the city website. So all the current documents that the council is taking action on tonight is available to the public through our website with those updated information.
Thank you, Harold. Any questions for Brian at this time? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Again, this is a public hearing for anyone to come forward and speak either in favor, in opposition, or neutral to the recommendations before the council on the TIF district. Good afternoon. If you would just identify yourself and your affiliation.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. Blake Nybakken with Epic Companies. Mr. Mayor and members of council, I don't have any updates for you. I just wanted to come up and express my gratitude on behalf of Epic Companies. We really are excited about moving this project forward. It's been quite a process, and so I just wanted to thank everybody, as Brian mentioned, everybody on staff, everybody up here, from the county to the schools to the park. A lot of people involved, and we're excited to get moving forward on this project. I know at one point, I think the last time I was up here, some timelines were talked about. We have officially bid demolition and asbestos. We are expecting to do a walkthrough after the 4th for all of those contractors interested in that portion of the work. Hoping to start work officially on that before the end of July. So a little update on timelines there moving forward, and we're excited to do so. So happy to answer any questions, but just wanted to come up and say thank you all. So
Thank you, Blake. Any questions at this time? Alderwoman
Can you
Evans.
repeat that timeline? I'm just trying to write it down. So I got you at, you sent out a bid for asbestos and,
demolition,
okay,
and we are going to do a walkthrough the week of July 6th, so right after the 4th.
okay, great.
And then we are hoping to start that work before August 1st, so within the month of July here, coming up.
Great. I appreciate that, Blake. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you bet.
Any other questions at this time? Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Again, this is a public hearing for anyone to come forward and speak either in favor, in opposition, or neutral to the recommendations before us. Seeing none, what are the wishes of council? Alderman Pittner.
Mayor, move approval.
Motion by Alderman Pittner to close the public hearing and approve the item. Is that correct, sir? Correct. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Olson. Discussion from the council. Any discussion on the motion? Alderman Pittner.
Just want to thank staff and Epic working through this process, the county for partnering, the school board, park board, and all the players. This is a big thing for Minot. This is a big thing for our community, and again, I'm excited to see it moving forward and the collaborative effort that it took.
Alderman Patagula.
I wanted to echo what Alderman Pittner said, and also in particular single out the county commissioners for having the courage to re-examine their prior decision, look at new data, and reverse their position on that. It's nice to see people be flexible like that.
Further discussion. On this specific project, I'll just make mention, it will be, I think, very substantial for the community to see the skyline back with a new Big M building, back adding value, and I think adding a lot of pride to our downtown kitty corner from the new city hall. Very excited to see the work and glad that Epic and the community were able to work so closely together to find a way to get this done, and also for all of the governing bodies to take a look at the TIF and see the value in where it plays a role within projects like this. So I want to say congratulations to all of the different community partners on this as well, because without it, I don't think this project moves forward. Final comments. Seeing none, the motion is to approve. Please call the roll.
Pittner,
Yes.
Padragula,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Sitma,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
The motion is approved. Number 4 is ordinances. We just have one ordinance, number 5752. This is the 2022 Library Digitization Project, item number 2021-67003.
Move approval.
Motion by Alderwoman Olson to approve, second by Alderman Pittner. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? Final call for discussion. Seeing none, the motion is to approve. Please call the roll.
Olson,
Yes.
Pittner,
Yes.
Padragula,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Sitma,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser,
Yes.
Motion is approved. Number 5 is the presentation for what it says, the outgoing mayor. So I don't know, I see Alderman Ross getting ready. We can step up front.
Step up front.
This would be the time to do
Yeah,
it.
it would be. Do we have somebody taking pictures? Who has a good phone to take pictures? Greca, I'm nominating Greca. Sure. And of course, we'll have Jill taking photos too, but thank you, Greca.
So the certificate of appreciation, this certificate is proudly presented to Sean Sitma for his leadership and outstanding public service to the city of Minot and community for 2 years as an alderman and 4 years as the Minot mayor. So Sean, on behalf of the city council and the citizens of Minot, thank you for your service, and we look forward to keeping you engaged.
Thank you. Thank you.
You two look here.
So before we get to the next item, I am going to take one last liberty with the agenda and add just a few parting comments for this evening. First of all, I have to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as Minot's mayor over these past 4 years and previous to as an alderman. I think just about every day it's hard to believe that it's only been 4 years because most of it feels almost like a decade most of the time. First, I have to turn my attention to the city manager and express my absolute deepest appreciation for your professionalism on the job and the work that you have done since arriving in Minot. Your background in city management and your economic development skills will continue to be invaluable to the city in the future. I expect great things in the not-too-distant future and hope to have some announcements very soon. The one thing I have not done to the city manager yet is coin him with the mayor's coin. As a former military kid who traveled around the country and close ties to the Military Herald, I appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you, sir. For the city staff, it has been a pleasure working with you these past 4 years as mayor and the 2 prior as alderman. I think together we've made, with the council, great strides in getting many of the components of the city moved forward. Now, we may not have always agreed on everything, but we collectively always found a way to get there. I deeply appreciate your commitment to the community, your commitment for the betterment of all of our lives here in Minot, and the hard work that you do each and every day for the citizens of Minot. Our community partners, and there are many of them. Now, sitting on the Chamber EDC board previously, the Minot Area Development Corporation, it's been rewarding to see the reorganization move smoothly, pairing the Minot Chamber and the Economic Development arm together to form the Minot Chamber EDC. It was and is monumental to get intermodal to the finish line. I can't express that enough. We inherited a heavy load, and with the help of staff and a dedicated board, many of them putting in endless hours that most will never know, kudos to all of you. Not just taking on the work, but knocking it out of the park and getting the project moving forward on the rails. For the Minot Parks Department, Ron and Ellie and all of the rec staff. 2018, we moved the Recreation Department over from the city over into the parks. We've long said that the fun belongs over in the parks, so that's where we put it. It was a long time in coming, and what a better fit. The collaboration between the city and the parks is one that I think we all should be well proud of. The flood control will be a recreational resource, thanks in part to the parks. The effort they do to improve the quality of life of Minot is simply one that you can't put a dollar amount on. The Minot Public Schools, Dr. Vollmer, it's been an honor to work with you and the attitude of let's just get it done. It's amazing. The attitude and willingness to find a way, whether it was the school bond issue or an emergency daycare during the early days of COVID in 2020. Minot is lucky to have you, Dr. Vollmer, and along with the rest of the great folks that work in our great public school systems, as well as all of our folks in our private school systems here in Minot. Visit Minot. The innovation and hard work paired with technology has been utilized by our new director, as well as the staff has catapulted our Convention and Visitors Bureau well into the 21st century. Great things are happening with many more to come. Service Basin Planning Council, thank you for your tireless work in helping the small businesses get off the ground and their doors open. 2020 wasn't easy, but we managed to find a way through it, and Service Basin was certainly part of that. The Downtown Business Professionals Association and the Council of the Arts and the local downtown businesses. Take a look downtown. Tireless efforts, personal investment, private investment. Our downtown is now a destination. It is now a downtown family-friendly that we have been waiting, I think, decades to see. And I believe in the not-too-distant future, we will see even greater things. Something with a fresh skyline, a new city hall, a CTE, and so much more. I also have to recognize our state delegation and legislators that worked hard down in Bismarck. We've had tough hills to climb in Bismarck for the flood control and the Northwest Area Water Supply Project. Together, we managed to keep the projects on time and a high priority down to the state. The next legislature will be just as important to double down to get the state's cost share of funding sped up, to get the Enhanced Flood Protection Project deadline and completion down from 2042 to 2035. I know it can be done with everybody working together. Now, for those who don't represent Minot, there's some big gratitude that is going out to two specific people, Representative Jim Schmidt and Senator Rich Wardner. They have had unyielding support for flood control and for Minot, not only with flood control, but also with the Hub City formula. To work together with those two fine gentlemen, even though they don't call Minot home, shows that they honestly and wholeheartedly take a look around the state and look what's best for everyone. They're amazing individuals, and a little bit sad to see that neither one of them will be returning, but know that I appreciate everything they did. Our congressional delegation, Senators John Hoeven, Senator Kevin Kramer, and Representative Armstrong, they've been champions for flood control. They've been champions for Minot with Minot Air Force Base. Senators, if we didn't have the funding for MI4 and even MI5, we'd be having a different discussion about flood control. Thank you doesn't go far enough for all of their efforts. And while we're talking about Minot Air Force Base, nearly 6,000 active service members and a total base population of more than 14,000 people. I pause because I'm grateful for their dedication, service to country, and their camaraderie with the community. The world truly is a safer place because of your commitment to the mission, no matter what the conditions that Mother Nature may throw at you, or wherever in the world the call comes from to provide support and or deterrence. We're proud to call you neighbors, and we are so proud to call you friends. Truly, only the best come north. Now, there are many, many more between the North Dakota State Fairgrounds, or the North Dakota State Fair folks, the North Coast Fest, the county, Trinity, Epic, the county commissioners, and Finding a Way with the TIF, Dakota Square, BNSF, Canadian Pacific Railroad. The list literally just goes on and on. But it has been a team effort all the way around, and your willingness to work together has only made Minot that much better. So lastly, my family. I don't get emotional much, but for my wife, Carrie, we've been through a lot these past 4 years. You've been a trooper, and it hasn't been easy. Thank you doesn't go far enough. My daughter, Marn, and my son, Jackson, you've sacrificed time and have always understood when Dad was on the phone or away at meetings on the phone or checking emails and text messages or simply pacing on the deck trying to figure something out. I appreciate your support and willingness to share me with the city. So as I wrote my last column with the Minot Daily News, it has been an honor and a privilege to serve as mayor. Tough decisions have been made. Some of them did bring criticism. But I hope the success and growth in our community over these past 4 years, despite the challenges, shows that we're on the right road. I want to wish good luck to our new mayor, as well to the city council, because your success is the community's success. And all the best, and truly mean that at heart. I look forward to stepping down back into maybe just a business life, a family life, and being a member of the community as I was prior. The people of Minot, I've said it many times before, are extraordinary. We rise above the disasters. We find resiliency within ourselves, and because we take care of each other when we need it the most. That is the magic of Minot. We find a way when so many other people otherwise wouldn't. That is the magic of Minot. Thank you. With that, I would. With that, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Pittner. Is there a second? Second by Alderwoman Olson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. To reorganize, we're adjourned.
What happens now?
I have to sign some documents before I leave. I'll take that one. Right here on the.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, we have no meeting going on, but Mr. Outgoing Mayor, I wanted to, so my first night I was sworn in, I filmed a video after I was done, and I teared up because that first night, you maybe don't remember, but it was in June of 2020, and you read a proclamation declaring June Pride Month. And what that meant to me, sitting here my first night as an openly queer elected official, to hear my mayor proclaim and recognize a part of our community, and then to follow that up with raising the flag out there and standing strong against severe opposition that we all faced afterwards. It means so much. I hope I know your children and family are proud of you for having the fortitude to have stood with our community, and it is something our community will always be tremendously grateful for and remember your term for. So thank you.
With that. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
We'll do the swearing in down here. We'll start with the municipal judge, and I'll just make sure that. We'll make sure the mic's on. You want to? It's usually just if you want to stand like kind of right where I am.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Tim Allen. Chaplain Allen, actually. So you know that it's official.
Good.
I got my cheat sheets. Okay. Please take your left hand and place it on the Bible and your right hand in the air.
You're going to tell me what to say?
Yes, I will. I state your name.
I, Ashley Beal,
Now repeat after me. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Municipal Judge for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
of the Office of Municipal Judge for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you. Yeah.
And then it'll be, and Janzer's on Teams, so if you guys want to go down there. Not yet. There he is.
Chaplain Allen. Nice to meet you too. Please take your left hand and put it on the Bible, right hand in the air. I state your name.
I, Lisa Olson,
Repeat after me. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Alderwoman for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
of the office of Alderwoman for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Oh, we're still doing Alderman. He grabbed it, yeah.
Next, I guess. Hey, Chaplain Allen. Left hand. You kind of seen how the drill was going there. All right. I state your name.
Paul Pittner.
State after me. Do solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Alderman
as
for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
of the office of Alderman of the City of Minot, North Dakota,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have one more Alderman on Teams. He couldn't make it, so can you talk into the mic and
I
he'll,
certainly can.
and then you can walk.
My first virtual swear-in. Please raise your right hand, sir. I state your name.
I, Mark Janser,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Alderman for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
of the office of Alderman for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Chaplain Allen, how are you? Oh. Left hand on the Bible. I state your name.
I, Tom Ross,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Mayor for the City of Minot, North Dakota,
for the office of Mayor of the City of North Dakota,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's go roll call.
Evans,
Here.
Janser,
Here.
Olson,
Here.
Pittner,
Here.
Padragula,
Here.
Ross.
Here. Didn't sink in quite yet. Moving on to item 9, section, City Ordinance Code, Section 2-18 of the City Ordinances establishes a procedure for the vacant council position. If a vacancy occurs in the office of alderman by death, resignation, or otherwise, the city may call a special election to fill such vacancy for the unexpired term, or may, after 15 days of the date of such vacancy, appoint a person to fill the vacancy until the next city election, at which the election, the unexpired term shall be filled. The recommended actions: the city council should approve a motion to declare a vacancy of the alderman position and either direct staff to prepare a resolution to call for a special election, direct staff to call a special meeting, or add an agenda item to a regular meeting to occur at least 15 days after June 28th, 2022, so the city council can appoint an individual to fill a vacancy, or direct staff to do both 1 and 2 with the appointment of an individual to expire after the special election. What are the wishes of the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderwoman Olson.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we declare a vacancy of the alderman position and direct staff to add an agenda item to the July 18th, 2022 agenda for the purpose of appointing an individual to fill the vacancy, as well as prepare a resolution for a special election on November 8th, 2022, coinciding with the general election, at which time the appointment made on July 18th will expire.
Second.
Second. Oh. Go.
Second by Alderman Pittner. Any discussion? Councilwoman Evans.
So just a couple of discussion items just for people who may be interested, and hopefully we do have some really good people who are interested in filling the vacancy. The qualifications, of course, you have to be 18 or older, a U.S. citizen, and a resident of Minot. That is it. In order for to comply with the rules of our agenda and when items have to be submitted, the deadline for individuals to send letters or emails to the city clerk to express their interest will be July 13th at 4:30 p.m. to the city clerk. Our public information office will put out all of this information to the city's website, the social media outlets, the traditional media outlets. But certainly if people have questions, Michaela is our city clerk and will be able to help answer those. But the big stuff, deadlines and all of that will be available on all of those outlets. So yeah, I'm excited to see who will put their hat in, and that we also will be holding a special election as well, so that the voters can ultimately, decide in November who they want to fill that seat. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Lisa, Alderwoman Lee Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'll get it right here. I've got 4
And
years. to
I'll
do it.
just say that historically, this has typically been the way that we have filled open seats. We did have a one-off a few years ago, but typically, in the years that I've been up here, I think there have been about 4 or 5 different open seats, and we've typically filled by appointment and had the election in November, which ultimately does give that decision to the people, which I think is very important.
Any other comments or discussion?
I do have a question for the city attorney. For the resolution for so the appointment is just a simple majority, correct? That 4 votes, right, for the appointment, correct?
Mr. Mayor and Alderwoman Evans, yes, an appointment to the city council would require 4 votes.
And then the resolution calling for a special election, is that the same, or is there a supermajority needed for that?
Mr. Mayor and Alderwoman Evans, a resolution to be approved to call for a special meeting requires a supermajority, which is 5 votes.
Okay, great. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Olson,
Yes?
Pittner,
Yes.
Padragula,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser.
Yes.
Moving on to number 10 on the agenda, the election of city council president.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilwoman Evans, I'm sorry.
Oh, I would like to do a nomination of Paul Pittner for City Council President and Stephen Padragula for City Council Vice President.
Are there seconds? Do they go separately or?
Mr. Mayor and Alderwoman Evans, I would suggest doing them separately if you're taking nominations.
Okay.
Would you like to rephrase?
City Attorney, how would you want to rephrase that? Like separate motions? Or-
They're separate items.
Mr. Mayor and Alderwoman Evans, the first item is the president, and so
Okay.
I would do the nomination, all of the nominations for president.
Oh, okay.
Vote on that, then move on to nominations for vice president.
Okay. So I'd like to nominate Alderman Paul Pittner for City Council President.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Evans, seconded by Councilwoman Olson. Paul Pittner. Any other nominations? Second call for nominations. Final call for nominations for the position of council president. Call the roll.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Pittner,
Yes.
Padragula,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes. Nominations are now open for the vice president for the city council. Alderman Pittner.
I'll nominate Alderwoman Lisa Olson.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other nominations for the position of vice president?
I would like to nominate Steve Padragula.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other nominations for the position of vice president? Final call for nominations. Nominations are closed. Your advice, how do we move forward?
Mr. Mayor, now you would call the roll and vote on who you want to be elected to vice president. You have to have a majority of the city council to elect to the vice presidency. If it's a tie, you have to continue to do the votes if there's a withdrawal, or you continue to vote until you get a majority.
Do we just vote, do we just name, when we do the roll call, we name who we wanted to vote for, or is it thumbs up on each one, or?
Mr. Mayor, you can do it either way. We don't have anything codified in our ordinance, and Robert's rule provides some leniency on how you want to do it. Actually, the city manager was saying in previous cities that he's been in, they make a motion from the nominees. But, so it's up to the chair to decide how you want to do that.
Should we just, call the roll and who you'd like to say, you state their name of who you'd like.
Can I make a suggestion that we just do it in order, Olson was nominated first, let's do that vote, and then Padragula if needed for that
It's
vote.
ever easy.
I don't know.
Yeah. Alderman Pittner.
Is this a discussion item at all from either of the nominees to present their case?
Mr. Mayor, yes, you can discuss the nominations.
Okay. Yeah, open discussion.
So the reason I nominated both Paul Pittner and Steve Padragula is they are the only two actual sitting members of council that have not had a leadership position as of yet on council. All of us have either served as president or vice president, and I really believe everybody should be given the opportunity who has served and won elections to serve in that leadership role, and that was my reasoning for those nominations. And Steve has, served on council on and off for decades, and I would love to see him assume a leadership role in this governing body.
Any further discussion? Okay, let's, do we call the roll on the first nominee?
Olson?
Yep.
Pittner?
Yes.
Padragula?
No.
Ross?
No.
Evans?
No.
Janser?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Yeah, we can call the roll on.
You want me to just call the roll on the next one? Okay.
Yep.
Evans?
Yes.
Janser?
Remind us what we're voting on.
You're voting on vice presidency for Stephen Padragula.
Yes.
Olson?
No.
Pittner?
Yes.
Padragula?
I think I should abstain.
Ross?
Yes.
So the motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is the appointment of the council committees. I,
Before they just said it's been passed
it's, we just pass it around, or it has been?
around. I have passed it around.
Okay, so you all have a copy. It was important for me to sit and visit with each of the council members one-on-one, and I think for the necessity of continuity and to have their experience in those boards and fighting for those boards and organizations, that it was important to keep the committees as close as we can, as Mayor Sitma previously appointed. So that is in front of you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to accept.
Second.
Move to accept by Alderman Padragula, second by Alderman Pittner. Any discussion?
Just a
Alderman
question,
Evans.
I don't know who would know the answer. So I'm assuming when we do the appointment in a few weeks, right, that person, we would like insert them somewhere, right, in the committees, right?
I did put vacant as
Okay,
the open spots.
okay, so we have zoning, okay. Oh, great, they have a lot of committees, I wouldn't want, maybe the interested people should review what committees they would be on before they do their letters. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes.
I wanted to thank our new mayor for reaching out to all of us and asking for our input and our thoughts about these appointments. I think that's a very good first step toward greater participation and collegiality. The other thing is that I think it's very good to have that measure of continuity. A lot of important and big things are happening for the city, and I think continuing with those appointments for another 2 years is a very good idea to get us through. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. Anything further? Call the roll.
Padragula?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Janser?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Pittner?
Yes.
And item 13 on the agenda is adjournment.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Janser. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
And a reminder, we have our picture taking. What? The hammer, gavel.